So I'm sitting here in a hot tub and thinking about the fact that in exactly 5 days, I have to leave for Alaska. For Alaska. I need to start preparing to go to Alaska, like right about this second.
So what exactly goes into planning an expedition to Alaska? First off, I need to make sure that my truck is in good enough shape to make the trip. I got in touch with one of the few Defender workshops in the area, Defenders Northwest, and Brian, the owner, kindly offered to help me. Number one, an oil change.
It looks like lava.
Believe it or not, this is my first time actually changing the engine oil.
I love doing this.
All done. Number two, a general checkup. She seems to be good. Number three, a new temporary set of tires.
Hey, how'd you like them new tires, huh?
Next up, I have to sort out the logistics of my trip.
The immigration stuff in Canada is pretty simple. I just need to fill out this arrive can form and that should be it.
There's a couple of other documents I'll need. The rabies vaccination certificate for Vilk and my Canadian car insurance.
One of the things that I definitely want to leave behind is Vilk's crate that he sleeps in. There's a couple of other things that I'm going to leave behind too, such as Vilk's own personal aircon unit. And one more big thing that I'm leaving behind is the Starlink unit. That is the satellite Wi-Fi. We're going to be offline, Vilk. We're going to be offline. Oh no. So one really essential piece of gear that I'm bringing with me to Canada is my Jackery kit. The Jackery solar generator is something that I bring with me absolutely everywhere, and it's gonna come in especially handy in Alaska, where I'm gonna be wild camping, off the grid, in remote places, and without much access to electricity otherwise. One of my favorite things about it is that it's super lightweight, so I can just haul it around wherever I want. So this here is a mesh kind of net, which I'm gonna stick to this door and then the front windows because, you know, mosquitoes. And this here is my emergency windscreen. So apparently, there is a very high chance that one of my windows or the windscreen might get smashed by some of the gravel that just gets thrown around by trucks passing by on one of the Alaskan highways. So just bring along this nylon sheet just in case it doesn't weigh anything, but it could be a massive lifesaver.
Up next, I need to plan my route over the next 5,000 miles.
Given the size of Alaska, you would think that there's all kinds of roads and highways crisscrossing the state and leading you up north. That's not quite the case. There's one highway that goes to the north of Alaska. Only one. So I don't really have much of a choice in terms of route planning. Even all the way through Canada, leading up to Alaska, there's only 2 different highways.
Choice number 1, the Alcan or the Alaska-Canada Highway. It's better maintained with more services along the way and definitely the safer option. Choice number 2, the Cassiar Highway. Much of it nestled in the wilderness with less infrastructure, worse road quality, but better views and less traffic. It also happens to be the shorter option if you're traveling from the Pacific Northwest, like I am.
So I've decided that I'm going to be taking the Cassiar Highway because it's wilder, it's shorter, it's prettier. So, Cassiar Highway, it is.
And last but not least, I really have to prepare myself mentally for this journey.
I really need to give myself this pep talk before I leave. And I leave tomorrow. So it's high time. This is gonna be a really intense few weeks. 5 weeks, 6 weeks. You don't know how long it's gonna take. And this is not going to be easy. It's not going to be daily life. You're not gonna have time for self-care. You're not gonna have time for routines. You're not going to have time for meditation. You're not going to have time for workouts. You're not going to have time for nice, healthy, all organic food. You're not going to have time to read and to journal and to rest and to relax. You're not going to have time for anything because this is an expedition. So you can't survive an expedition if you take on a day-to-day ordinary mindset. In order to survive an expedition, you have to take on an expedition mindset, and that is what I need to get in my brain. it's gonna get really messy by the end. But that's why I'm doing it. That's why you're doing it.
And armed with this mindset, I set off towards the north of Alaska. Wish me luck.